With that in mind, I'm going to hand you over for 5 minutes or so to Stuart, who's going to show you a trick. Be very aware you need to stay around the area of the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, surprise, surprise. Hello again. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to need a volunteer. Somebody who's happy to be on camera, and if we've got anybody that's got a phobia that's happy to be on camera, or if we've got somebody that would like to pretend to have a phobia. Andy, you've been on camera once. It's easier than asking anybody else to volunteer. Come and join us. No steps. Have a seat. Go on. You're on camera. Oh, well. Fantastic. And with your right hand, you hold on to the water for me. A bit warm. Yeah, it's been sat in the sunlight for the last hour or so. What I'd like you to do, Andy, is I would like you to imagine that you've got some level of phobia, something that's really bothering you. Okay? Got that in your mind. We don't need to know what it is. Just need to have you imagine a phobia for now, for this demonstration. Okay. Yep. Now, as we know, a phobia is a thought, and thoughts are just waves, which is just energy. It's bad energy up here. We need to get rid of it, don't we? So what I'm going to do is we're going to actually get rid of that energy. We need to harness it. We need to trap it somewhere. And we need to prove to you that that energy has gone. Okay. So we're going to use a little ball of foil. Okay. Just normal kitchen foil. I would have actually brought sealed box with me, but packing a full roll of foil for this would seem a bit pointless. It is just normal foil, and it is normal water. Just one sec. Thank you. That's got nothing to do with what we're doing. It's just no. Right, with your left hand, because that's the sort of subconscious part of the body. Yes. Do you believe any of this so far? What we're going to do is we need to keep the foil a little bit wet. This is for your own safety, okay? I'm going to place it in your hand. I want you to imagine getting rid of that bad energy down your arm. And I want you to imagine it getting warmer and warmer, the foil, okay? As it traps the energy. Okay. As we do this, eventually it's going to become hotter and hotter and hotter as it harnesses that bad energy that's going down your arm, to the point of it's going to become so hot that you're going to have to let it go. You have to release it, okay? Don't drop the water, just the foil, okay? It's not about being brave, it's not about showing people how brave you are and that you can cope with something that's hot. It's just a case of letting go when it feels right for you. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just going to make it into a little ball. So first of all, get rid of all the creases. That's fantastic, like so, and maybe a little bit wet. We'll see.
Moist.
Just moist, yes. Hold it in your hand lightly. I don't want you to close your hand too much because otherwise it'll be difficult for you to drop. Yeah, and you'll feel that energy going from your head down your shoulder, down your arm, and you'll feel that foil.
Do I have to put my hand out or anything?
That's fine as it is, whatever's comfortable for you. And you're going to find it getting warmer and warmer and warmer. It's going to get so warm that eventually when you're ready, just release it. Release that bad energy and let it go. There we go. How do you feel now? Do you feel like you've got rid of that phobia? Do you feel that all that bad energy's gone?
A little bit, yeah.
You do. Fantastic.
That's,
it's all in the mind, by the way, because it's not actually that warm that it's not that warm that it would frighten you. No, it's warm, but it's been sat in the sun.
I've got burns now.
If you got burns,
yeah.
well, you should let go of it earlier. I did warn you. That is literally just water and foil. So how did we do it? I could tell you that I paid Andy earlier and settled this up, but I'd be wrong. I could
still
tell you,
Homer.
I do. I could tell you that there's something in the water, but there are no chemicals in the water apart from it's just normal tap water. And the foil is genuinely, don't drink it, it's got all sorts of chemicals. No. What you need to do is you need to go to the internet and you need to go to a website called cdrmagic.com.
Yep.
That's a good memory. And when you go there, you'll see a little tab. It's run by a friend of ours who does illusions, and he puts knives through his wife's arm and chops her head off and all the rest of it. He also does karaoke. If you go to a little tab in the menu, you'll find, you'll see one that says Heat. And you scroll through that and scroll through all the text, all the videos, and it does go on a bit. You'll see 3 little PayPal buttons. And you order yourself a bottle of Calderome's Heat Hotspot Sex Test. That's not sex pest, that's sex test. Okay?
Calderome.
Calderome, cdrmagic.com. And what you get is you get a little bottle.
You put that in here.
No,
Carry on. Carry on.
no, that is quite safe to drink.
It's the bottle I was asking about. What's that?
That's sex test or heat.
Sex.
Yeah, it's called Heat on his website, but when you get it, it'll have a label on it saying sex test. In that bottle is a, it's not in there, don't worry, it's not. In that bottle, it's alright, we're having photos taken for those on Zoom. Thank you. In that bottle is are some very strange mind-altering chemicals, apparently.
This goes to show you don't need to be hypnotised to make a complete prat of yourself.
Yeah, he had phobia of cameras up until now. Andy, I'd like to get to the public.
Sorry, that was supposed to be a personal photo, you know.
Oh, right.
No,
Okay.
please.
In there is a mixture of chemicals. Are we allowed to say what the chemicals are? On camera?
Well, it contains it, doesn't it? So.
Yep.
It's
Right,
in very
it
small
contains a mixture of diluted mercury bichloride. It's a very specific dilution for this to work. Now, I will warn you that mercury is toxic. However, use safely, as long as you don't use it and then eat or drink the stuff with the, yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. So what you do is, you take this bottle, you give it a good shake. If you don't shake it, it might not work. You take the lid off and you put yourself 3 or 4 drops on your thumb, like that. And then you rub it into your 2 fingers, or rub it against, just so that all 3 digits are moist. And then you wait for it to dry. At this point, don't pick up a sausage roll or a cookie or anything and eat it. It's not. It probably wouldn't do you any harm, but safety first. Once you've done that, and it's dry, you then get your client to hold on to a glass of water. You tear off a piece of foil. This is still slightly wet, so I'm trying not to get the foil on the...
Don't do this before a football match, because foil on the pies might burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep the pies warm.
As long as it's dry, it shouldn't react with the foil. You then have a piece of foil that is slightly smaller than that. What size would you call that? Sort of 1 inch by 2 inches, maybe. The insert from a fresh packet of cigarettes will also work on certain brands. You then take it, you dip it in the water, and only dip 1/4 of an inch in, or thereabouts, to put some water on. Doesn't make any sense why you do that, but you then shake off the excess water, and with your chemically treated fingers, you basically stretch that water, rub it all the way down the foil to take out the creases before you roll it in a ball. No, it doesn't make sense at all either. But once you've done that, you can roll it into a ball, and as long as there's reaction with air, you will find very quickly that it gets. Don't want to burn your carpet, by the way. You'll find that it gets very warm. It will also cool down very quickly as well, allowing you to pick it back up, giving the illusion that it was either all in the mind if you need to. That is still very. If anybody actually wants to grab hold of this or see me afterwards for a demonstration, it is burning hot at that point. The advantage I've got is that I've been using this for years and it hasn't affected me one little bit, the mercury Mad Hatters. Yeah. But you're asking them to hold it in the palm of the hand, which is far more sensitive than when you pick it up off the ground by fingertips, unless you've got very sensitive fingertips. But you should be able to quite easily pick it up, by which time, you know, you can turn around and go, that's not hot at all. It should have cooled down a little bit with the air. At which point you can pass it out to somebody else and go, doesn't feel as hot. But it was genuinely burning your hand on.
I can still feel it. I still feel it.
It has actually put a hole in the carpet.
Was it?
Not my carpet, I don't care.
Was it?
Yeah. See, just there. It's just melted a little triangle there.
Nutty.
So it does get hot.
Yes. It is very hot. Once you've used it, at the first opportunity, I would suggest going to wash your hands.
Can do in a moment.
I will do.
Yes.
But basically, the idea of using, you'll also find there's little bits of powder that come off the used foil. Again, don't be, if you've handled the foil, don't be eating or anything straight away. But it should be quite. The guy who makes this makes it in gallon drums. He's been doing it for 20 odd years, and he's had tests upon tests.
You'd have to drink at least 3/4 of a bottle for it to be really ill.
Do you?
Yeah, he told me you have to drink at least 3/4 of a bottle.
3/4 of a bottle
to make
before
you
you
really
become
ill.
Don't
ill.
suggest you drink any of it.
No, don't drink any of
Yeah,
it,
don't drink
please.
any of it, yeah.
Don't.
That's not an advice, that's a warning.
Yes. It's not a suggestion or a recipe.
No, it's a
No.
warning.
So that is Calderon's sex test, and a bottle like that, you will get a slightly smaller bottle now, just keep postage down so it'll actually go through Royal Mail postal system a lot easier. A bottle like that will last you for years, you know, because you are literally only using 2, 3, 4 drops at a time. When you do get it, try it out a few times to make sure that you've got the right balance between foil, chemicals and water. If it's not working for you, either add some more, use less water, use smaller pieces of foil. It's the only 3 things you need to know about it. And if you are buying it off Carl, please mention my name.
Lavender.
Lavender, yes. Yeah, just mention the purple haired guy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Yes.
Blocks, you just learnt about the chemical. Incidentally, I've used that in the past, the hot foil tray. If you've heard of glove anaesthesia, which is the idea of under so-called hypnosis, suggesting that they can transfer heat down the arm to the hand and then take that heat and put it against whichever area of the body that they want to, you know, reduce pain or discomfort, that they put the hand there and they imagine the heat transferring from the hand to that body part. I found that, as with everything, if you can have the person physically, genuinely feel something. So when they pick up that top block, it's heavier than all 3. They can't deny it. When the foil gets hot and they drop it, they cannot deny it. You get the point. It's like with stuff that you'll see in the boot camp, those of you that are